to update that TV one of these days.
We'll have to update that TV one of these days.
Oh my gosh. I'm just scared to do it before we start. Cause
Is it terrible? We gotta update
Is it terrible that we
TVs.
gotta update TVs?
Oh man.
That's so weird. Sense, does it?
Oh man.
That's so weird.
It just pops up. It just pops up.
Okay. Well, looks like the stream is working.
Okay. Well, looks like the stream is working.
So we might not have the TV because
So we might not have the
there
TV
to change the setting to get
I
it.
might have to go in there to
Really?
change the
Yeah,
setting.
because it's
to
on
get
one
it.
and it's plugged in.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, because it's on one
Yeah, I
and it's
don't
plugged
know.
in.
I might have, that might be just
Yeah, I don't know.
I might have,
Oh,
that might be just a
look at
extra
that.
setting I might have to mess with.
Oh, look at
So,
that.
for some reason,
You could probably pull comments.
So, for some reason,
No, it's nice.
No, it's nice.
It looks like YouTube is
It looks like YouTube is
title changed. That's great. I didn't have to do
title
it.
changed. That's great. I
Okay,
didn't
so
have
that
to do
means
it.
I can go here. Hello, everybody.
Okay, so that means I can go here. Hello.
Getting everything live, and since we got
Getting everything live,
something
and
weird
since
with
we got
audio,
something weird with audio.
That's what it says.
That's what it says.
I mean, looks like the audio is
I mean,
There.
looks like the audio is there.
How's it sounding?
How's it sounding?
I think it's a little bit hot.
Loud, maybe?
I think it's a little bit hot.
Loud, maybe?
Tap it down a little bit. Maybe that's better.
Tap it down a little bit.
Let me know if we have any audio
Let me know if we have
challenges,
any
everybody.
audio challenges, everybody.
So then,
Echoing. Oh, monitoring it.
Then
Monitoring is on.
Oh, monitoring. Monitoring is on.
Which I
that?
think.
Which I think.
Fix that. Alright, hold on. Fix that. Okay.
hit that better.
Can we still be heard? We just can't see the monitor, but I think it should still be. Is it echoing anymore?
I'm guessing there's no audio now,
Ah,
but I don't know. There's a bit of a delay.
alright, so.
Let's see. I'm trying to change some sizes here. There's no audio now.
Oh.
No, there is an audio. I think you fixed it. Okay.
Alright, good.
That took care of the echo? Great. Alright, so we're in good shape, everybody.
Ah, things are going right.
Okay. Well, that's good enough for a sip of tea if it's not too hot.
Yeah, I think there's like
Huh?
I heard that. It's like a slight echo. I will change that in the future. Let me know if that's an issue.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm seeing good things in the chat from people regarding the echo's gone and the audio's good. So cool. Nice.
Interesting. Yeah, we'll fix that. There's just a slight weird. It sounds like we have a hallway that turned on. Like a reverb.
I think we got to go through like the hitting the live button checklist, right? So this time around, we're actually streaming from a whole different computer. So
Yeah, let me get my computer.
I think the fact that we actually got everything online with minimal difficulty is kind of a win. That's interesting. Why is it only showing chat from there? Since it says YouTube here. this one does on here. Okay, maybe not. Are we?
All right, I'm gonna start a list on a live list.
Did you check Twitch just to make sure? Because I'm only seeing stuff from
Yeah.
YouTube. Flowers are blooming. We got crocuses in the front yard, which is kind of nice.
It's still been gloomy and
But
cold.
yeah, garlic's like about this tall all night now, and
Okay.
put a bunch of straw down.
I
Hopefully keep the grass
I
in
found a
control.
couple growing up out of my straw.
Okay. So
Yeah, we're
perfect. Okay, cool. Apparently, the shirts are so loud they're causing reverb.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
We'll eliminate that hallway reverb next time around.
something like that.
Yeah, the new these are our new riding shirts, jerseys.
Yeah, they're pretty fun.
I love it. Yeah, these are so cool.
So, what did you do this week, Jeremy?
This week, well, I've been doing a lot of sanding,
Oh, okay.
so I'm in the process. Just got finished with that,
Yeah.
and I kind of spent the whole week doing some of that. Working on some trees actually outside. I got done cutting all my trees like last weekend, so now I'm just making sure everything around is good. I got a small cherry tree that I'm trying to grow, and I have to keep pulling it and kind of torquing on it a little bit, you know, to keep it growing the way I want.
Oh, so it's crooked tree?
Yeah, it's kind of got an angle that it's going out of, so I'm pulling it back straight, but I'm also like tacking down the top of the branches. I do this with like everything that I grow.
Oh yeah, I did that with my peach tree.
And then it just has them stay down, and because them top branches are the best ones.
Well, it's really bad when you get those branches that are like at steep angles, and then you get a whole bunch of fruit on there, and they bend over, and then they crack and split.
Yep.
So
actually just had that.
I would do that with my peach trees. I'd tie strings on and pull the branches down, and when they're really thin, like not even as big as my little finger, I'd actually go in and I'd kind of bend them just to the point where they start cracking, but not snapping them, to
Make
start
a
to
knot.
shape them and form them.
Yeah.
No, the branch itself.
It'll make a knot there, right?
No,
when you kinda bend it?
It'll help it reshape the overall, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The reverb is gone. We had sound being captured by
Oh, by
the
another
one
mic.
that you muted, plus, boy, this is so sensitive. Plus,
Okay,
plus
so-
this one,
Yeah.
okay, which is a bit much.
Good. All right. We
Plus
found it.
this one, and there was like one more. So
Where are these
it-
mics?
I don't even. It must be the mic on this new computer that we're
It
using,
was,
right? Just
yeah,
do-
it
doesn't
was.
matter.
Yeah.
We got it taken care of. Slacking on the apple trees. Yeah, it's a little bit late to be trimming, especially in our part of the world.
Yeah.
You know, normally, you really want to give your trees a haircut in February. At least in
Yeah,
Wisconsin.
I was late on 2 of my trees, but also those trees haven't been producing very well for me, so I kind of neglected them in a sense of like, are they worth my time? I had so much other stuff to do.
Oh, well, when they don't produce well, it's kind of an indication that maybe they need a little bit more of a haircut.
Right.
Okay. So, doesn't seem like we can monitor the chat on Twitch the way this is set up.
Oh, and you can't see it.
It's just not there. It's only
Okay.
showing YouTube, which again, just
Interesting.
more
I'll just put
more details as we get it all dialed in. Cookies. Well, I don't know if we're gonna make cookies this week. It was pretty good yesterday or last week though.
No, that was great.
someone like
That's gonna be annoying. All right, let's see. This does this now. Whenever you pull it up, just pulls up whatever.
Is anybody traveling for the 419 holiday? I don't think I'm traveling for that holiday, but maybe traveling
Close.
shortly thereafter. Brownies. Now that sounds good. I think it'd be great to have to try that. See if we can cook brownies in
Wow, they've changed this,
Hyperdine.
and I have no idea.
Oh, that's just like
Like
the
how
ad
to
you gotta
do
watch
this.
for like a minute when you log in.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that why it's doing
Yeah,
this?
just
Oh,
just
geez.
ignore it for a little bit.
Fascinating.
I don't know so much. Isn't Eastern 420? You know, I think it is. How interesting is that?
Found it.
Was that an ad?
No, it was an update on this thing,
Oh,
and it's
okay.
completely different mobily than I'm used to. I don't spend enough time on it.
Hyper armored cap. You know, I suppose that's a doable thing. Maybe that's the ad. That looks
This
like
is,
the ad.
yeah,
okay.
this is it. But at least we got the chat. That's all we really need. Actually, I wish I could just blow up the chat. That'd be sweet.
And life is sweet. Thank you for making that comment. I like more of those.
Travel into space on a Dynavap? I mean, it does kind of look like a rocket.
Some of them more than others.
Yeah.
Are we froze? Oh, there it goes. Okay, cool.
It's
All right,
like-
so you got your Twitch chat.
Yep. Yeah, we'll fix that.
All right, well-
We'll be able to pull it
Yeah,
up in
it's-
the future.
We're getting there. Yeah,
Yep, it's got the good mug back.
kissing the dragon is not recommended.
It's like they only, I mean, other than dropping your cap whenever it's at its maximum heat, which
Or
I
your
don't
whole
have-
device.
Yeah, which I would say those would be the equally. Those happen about the same amount or something.
Okay.
Like my cap does not usually just fall off.
No, but I have dropped a perfectly heated device on the carpet. Although it didn't really visibly hurt the carpet,
Is it a
some of
little
the
crispy?
carpet decided to stick along for the ride,
Oh yeah.
and that cap just has a little bit of a carpety vibe to it now. Yeah.
That's fun.
So there is a way to jam to music and still. I'm not going to use the word hear your cap, although it depends on how you define some of these terms, right? Because I know that if you got your device set up just right, you can train your fingers to feel the click. Can you feel the click?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever used a Dynavap in a loud environment? Maybe once?
Quite often,
Yeah?
actually. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, if you're going by timing, you have to know the timing of your
Yeah.
tip and the way that heats underneath the cap. That's the only difference between just going off of just timing. But even if I'm going off of timing, I have to see the initial click, so I have to look for the jump or feel it.
Yep.
So
The timing can be difficult
right.
because there's so many variables that you need to account for, right?
And then if I actually keep it close to my mouth or kind of hold it around that area until it clicks, then you get that vibration like through your
Oh,
lips.
right. We're
So-
talking about when you. I don't have a little mini with me, but you can just use this Unidyne as an example because you got a wand right there, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you just stick a wand or a Unidyne or whatever in the wand,
Yep.
just maybe just demonstrate how you can heat and taste at the same time,
Oh
right?
yeah, I usually just heat it. Well, so I double click it. So I hope everybody knows that that's a thing, right? You can double click this, and now it'll just be shining. It'll be glowing red,
Yep.
and now it's gonna be green, and it's just on, and it senses the Dynavap.
Right.
And then I hit it while it's like, I'm usually just hitting it while it's going. And then, right when it click out, I'll either pull it out, or I'll just push the button and leave it in.
Right. Push the button, because if you push the button one time,
It shuts that
it
heat
shuts
right
off the sense.
Yeah.
So it stops heating.
And plus you're drawing air, so it's not going to overheat even when you push the button. I was always wondering that. I never did that until like I started doing it, where I was like, I wonder if I can just push the button and leave it in there. Yep, because I'm drawing air. So it's cooling right away. So,
But the key thing is, again, if you have the induction heater,
oh, you know what? It fascinatingly echoes the click a little bit. It's a little bit more audible when it's in here for me. Does that make sense?
Sure it does.
Because
Sure it does.
it's like the audio is being funneled towards my face a little
Right,
bit more of the click.
it's like an echo.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, so the wand can be an echo
The
chamber?
wand can literally be a bit of a dB
I love it.
lifter
Love it.
for your Dynavap. Yeah. Oh, I just did it, and you could hear that.
Mhm.
Like it's a little bit there.
I mean, that's pretty loud. I mean, the microphone's not even that close. I'm sure.
Instead of the sound escaping
Yeah, I'm sure people
underneath.
could hear that.
Right. Yeah, we'll do it again.
The microphone's not even that. No.
Face it towards the mic. Oh, it was so nice. and
That's
loud.
nice. Oh, this is some funny stuff. Flower mode. Yeah. Flower mode rocks.
Yeah.
But one of those things that can totally be done is if you're just sitting around looking for something to do,
Oh yeah.
you can practice with your cap, right? This is a baller cap, of course, but you can practice with that too. Just heating until it clicks and just feeling for that click, right? Just listening or just feeling, right? Put some headphones on with some music, and you can kind of work on not just the timing, but training your fingers for what it feels like.
So, this question was that because it's a little dried out already? Like,
You know
what I'm saying?
It can be when you go for a second or third round.
there it goes.
So another thing that's kind of important to understand is that when you start out with your device at, we'll call it room temperature, whatever the temperature of that room happens to be, the time to get to the click tends to be a little bit longer, or people tend to heat a little bit differently to drive a little bit more heat into the product, right? Well, when it cools down and it clicks and resets, the heat up for the second round tends to be different because it's already warm. It's not hot enough to actually still really be producing any vapor or doing any extraction, but it's certainly a fair bit warmer than what it was when you started. So if you're having some challenges with combustion on the second round, or when you're maybe the third round, whatever it might be, understand that your heating technique is going to likely need to vary or shift a little bit because you might be getting a little bit too hot.
If it ain't green, what does it mean? It means it's burnt. No, it's extracted if it ain't green.
Oh, looks like Nicholas tried one out for the first time today. Just can't figure out which one to get. So how do you put your wand into flower mode?
That's a fun one to show.
To destroy something to make it work. I don't know what that means. But speaking of that, got a fair number of people hanging out with us tonight, Jeremy.
So I'm gonna do the flower mode demonstration.
Right. And understand that they call it flower mode, but it really doesn't change anything about the way that this product works other than changing the color that the LED lights up when you use it. So it changes a little visible icon on the
So I just
on the
peeled
display.
I just peeled this sticker,
Yeah, there's a sticker. Yep.
and then there's a switch right there in the center.
Yep.
And then you just hit that switch, and now you're going from. Let's see, we're in flower mode, so I can flip the
You have to
switch.
use something, digger out or
Oh,
something.
you're
So
right,
it's kind of
yeah.
recessed.
There we go.
So you
And
can
now
see the display's a little bit different. You have to be a little bit further away. It's kind of out of focus.
There we go. So not only that, but the color.
Changes the color of the LED when it's
Yeah.
heating, right? So
But I mean, for me, I guess my only actual benefit here is that I don't have. There's just not a lot of temperatures to play with. It's only 3 leaves, and I just keep it on 2. That's
Pretty
like
much.
that's like my
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
And then I don't have to worry about it straying too far from that temperature. It's just a couple clicks away back to the 2 leaves, which is kind of fun. And I like the color. Just
yeah, I
like the
just find that
colors.
the green LED is a little bit easier to see. That's all.
Two fires, because I think they're little fires, right?
Yeah, I think it's little fires. That's how much fire you got left
2
in your
fires.
lawn,
That's
right?
what I use. Yep. 2 fires in a leaf.
So, if you don't mind, gotta grab that box full of bundles.
Oh, cool.
So we can talk about some bundles.
Let's go.
And yeah, maybe share some bundles. And looks like the sharing is beginning.
Here is this.
That's what we're looking for. All right. So we've got opal and amethyst and pearl and ruby, topaz and emerald. And look at that. Looks like Anne even put them in a bag.
Emerald, did you say?
Emerald.
Emerald.
Wow.
bundle.
So we're gonna contribute some of these bundles into the Dynaverse tonight, and if you happen to win one of these, you get your choice. You can have any bundle that we have available on our website. That way you can have whatever is going to really tip your fancy.
The opal.
Yeah. Yeah, so cool.
There's a
Emerald,
wand.
opal.
This is a wand and an XL and an opal.
Yeah. Well, so I've got the list right here. So the opal is M7XL with a wand. Yeah, just that. We've got the amethyst, which is an M7 with a baller cap and an honest torch. The pearl is a Unidyne with a wand. The ruby is a woodwind with an armored cap and a wand. That's a pretty nice one. Topaz is a baller cap with a halo tip.
Topaz.
And then the emerald is a thermal hyper cap with a hyper tip.
Oh, yeah, I had that
A
one.
bonger, a black chill bong, and a chill hookah set.
Boom. Big
So-
old chill in here.
This stuff here with, yeah, chill. This is a big package. So, lot of goodies.
set too.
Yeah, it's like the whole deal, and a whole lot of black stuff. So, pretty cool there, huh?
Very cool. What's in the case here for the emerald?
What's in the case? Oh, that's the black bonger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a nice case there. That's cool. I like that a lot. It's like an upgraded film case. Very cool.
So yeah, I've got some good deals on the bundles on the website this week. You know, it's that special time of year where the months and the days tend to line up with numbers that people in our community tend to like. And so there tends to be some good
chill
sales
pipe
and
with the
promotions.
hookah setup.
I mean, come on. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Gonna go see the Wizard in Emerald City. Love it.
And get an emerald gift.
Yeah. Although it's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like a black emerald, right? Because a black bonger with a black chill bong. Which, how nice is that?
I remember that one. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, well, Brian's here, so now we can start. So, welcome, Brian.
Oh yeah, I try to tell people that too. That is like my favorite thing about it too, is the ceramic coating of the chill bong. It's so easy to clean.
Yeah.
Because bongs they can suck to clean, but the fact that this one comes apart
Yeah.
so much easier to clean makes me like to use it more often than not using something because I'm like, oh, I just don't want to have to clean it later. So
You know,
I stop
that
using
can
it.
be so disappointing, right? When
Mhm.
you've got this tool
I've
or
been
this
through that several
toy, whatever you want to call it, that you really like using,
Yeah.
but it's just really unpleasant to deal with the after use situation.
the
right?
cleaning process has got to be nice. I don't know. It's just
Well, it's an important part of the
Simple.
whole experience, right? I mean, you can have a product, right? Make the product as enjoyable to do maintenance on as you practically can.
yeah. I mean, I've never had a good like. I always complain about like vaporizer ovens, the battery ovens, because you cannot soak these in alcohol. You have to wipe them with alcohol, so you never
Sure.
get it like full. I mean, maybe you could keep the little alcohol wipes in there for a while just so it gets a little more, but
Yep.
never had a good experience with cleaning it. So
No, not really. Did I miss something? I thought I saw. Oh, you're on Twitch. Okay, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
yeah, I got it.
Yeah, we'll be doing a giveaway on YouTube. Just it'll be coming. We're gonna be sending some real love out into the Dynaverse today. Several bundles getting contributed out there. Bundle of your choice. And yeah, just you can check out our website, decide which one you want. And even if you don't win, I mean, there's still some pretty good deals on the website right now. I'd say it's probably one of the best times of year to, if you're not a member of the Dynaverse, to join, or if you're looking to expand your collection a little bit.
So I know you had it in mind when you were coming up with the idea, but did you know that like that would be a comment? You know what I mean?
What's that?
Because like that might be close to my thoughts too. Bumpkin BB.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of the best things about it. If you're like a user, if you use it often, right? There's cannot be enough to be said about how easy it is to clean.
Like, there's nothing
Well,
else that I can just drop in alcohol completely and then just swab it out real quick. There's just there's not much else that I can see doing that with.
Well, in fact, we should talk about alternative cleaning methodologies.
Somebody said vinegar works really well.
Yeah, you know what works even better?
What's that?
Coffee.
I've never used coffee.
Really?
No.
Okay. For people that are looking to get like maximum mileage
We're gonna
out
need
of
to
their
do that.
Dynavap device, if you like coffee, I recommend coffee. If you like tea, tea will also cut it, provided that you can tolerate your tea with a little bit of cream. Because there's this interesting thing about a lot of the stuff that accumulates in your Dynavap device is fat soluble, right? So when you take really hot water, well, water and oil and fat don't get along the best.
Right.
But there's this neat little trick when you take a little bit of cream, which is fat, okay, and you put it in that hot water, and that hot water could have coffee or tea flavorings in it as well. Well, all of a sudden, now there's other bits of oil that the oil in your device, as it comes in contact with the oil that's dispersed in your coffee or your tea, well, they get along really well. And give it a little bit of time, and all the goodness that you've been accumulating inside your device, provided
Right.
that you haven't accumulated non-goodness, it disperses into your coffee or in your tea, and now you get a drinkable edible, and then you simply rinse out your device with some good hot water.
Which is fun because those drinkables are expensive.
They can be. They can be.
They've been at the gas stations and stuff now. They're
Well, you know, the
Bunch of
situation here in
drinks.
Wisconsin is so interesting, right?
yeah,
You know,
it is.
because, you know, we don't technically have a legal market, except we do. It's just unregulated.
right.
So there are technically no dispensaries like you're going to find in other states, but there's dispensaries selling products that are very analogous. And then we've got this other situation where there's gas stations and grocery stores also selling it, as well as shops and you name it. It's really interesting to just watch and see how much things have changed just in the last 4 or 5 years.
It's kind of fascinating.
Yeah.
Like you'd have to catch up if you were lost somewhere out there. A lot has changed.
Well,
Did you hear about them making dire wolves? Have you heard of the dire wolf situation? They've brought back dire wolves genetically. They
okay.
like
What does that mean?
well, the species of dire wolf that they brought back was like it's like almost prehistoric.
Okay. Are they like cute little pocket-sized things?
Not exactly.
Oh. Okay.
This is a wolf that has the possibility to get like up to 175 to 200 pounds. It's got a 12-inch skull from its head to its base. Like
Oh.
comparing that to my dog, he's a pretty decent sized golden retriever. He has like a 6.5-inch, 7-inch. You know, like these are
Okay.
they're stockier. They got shorter legs, and if I listened to what I was hearing right, they were actually able to bring them back, and they're going to resuscitate them into the wild for population control in certain areas. But they are just wolves, and they do look cool. They don't look like. I mean, they got manes. They're big. They're big. It's not your generic wolf. You know,
Yeah, you know,
it's an interesting concept.
I think it's interesting that it can be done,
Yeah, it is. It's
but there's
fascinating.
this saying that I can't say that I came up with it, but it's something that's I've been kind of telling myself for as much of my life as I can remember. And that's just because I can doesn't mean I should.
Right. I don't know what to think about. I mean,
I don't know either.
I'm not sure at all. I don't know if I
agree or disagree. I think it's fascinating that it's possible. I don't know what kind of what kind of
No.
things.
Yeah. So Brian says his Dynavap stays clean enough to operate the longest of any of the devices he's used. What do you think of that?
That's a good one. I would completely agree. I actually only clean it because I choose to. I don't ever have to usually. So if that makes any sense, I could stretch that out for quite a while, and then actually I would only probably really need to like clean up my condenser because the flow just becomes a little bit restrictive, which can also contribute to overheating.
Oh, sure.
So by having a restriction in the flow by not cleaning, you might come to a bit of a faster combustion possibility. So I've noticed that.
Speaking of that, for those that find that their device really needs a clean, but they're not in a place where cleaning is easy. Well, we're just going to use the Unidyne as an example, right? The majority of what needs to be cleaned is here, and technically here, right? And I know some people say, well, why do you even bother putting this in your device? Well, there's actually several reasons, and one of them being the majority of what needs to be cleaned is here.
That's it.
Okay. So this part is going to be largely clean. There may be a tiny bit of residue in your chamber, but really not much.
Yeah.
Like not much at all. It's almost all going to be right here. So if you have a couple of these, well, you can just take that and put in a new one. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do this. That's kind of what.
Yep.
Just
But,
to keep it rolling.
If you're going to be, again, making that cup of hot coffee or tea, you can literally just drop this one part in, okay, and just let it soak.
I mean, you could have like a few condensers and hold them all for that
you
one
can.
extraction moment, and have quite a bit for your extraction straws that you're collecting.
Oh, man. This is a fun comment. I clean after combustion, or if resin starts leaking. Then I heat it up till it boils and drink the resin like a man.
Oh,
Yep.
that's fun.
So if the screen gets a little bit dirty, so again, solvents are great. Hot water with creamer will take care of it. In a pinch, you can, especially with the Unidyne, you can heat without the cap for a couple seconds and just notice I said a couple seconds. Okay, you don't have to get it very hot. You don't need to make it glow. But if you heat the chamber and therefore indirectly the screen and just give it a puff or two, you can largely clear your screen
from just a little bit of debris that are sticking
yeah,
in
and
it.
the thing is, you got to get it warm. It doesn't need to be smoking. It just needs to be warm.
The things
right?
that are sticking in it just needs to heat up, just to break free,
just
it seems like.
To loosen it up a little bit, because
Yeah.
the things that tend to accumulate tend to get stickier as they get colder.
Yeah.
So as they get warmer, they get less stickier. Now, when it comes to the condenser can actually be a lot of fun, right? So let's just say your condenser is like chock full of all kinds of good stuff, right?
Usually you can look down it and see it all
Yep.
as you're
So-
taking it.
If you just want to get it out of the way, you can actually take your condenser and hold it at a little bit of an angle like this and start just above the middle. And you can just heat like this and just start working your way down, kind of spinning a little bit. And all of the stuff will liquefy and run right out the end.
You might even be able to hear it kind of boiling-ish in
Yep.
there. Yep.
You can drip it onto something if you want to reclaim it, and it will supplement whatever you drip it onto for sure. Now, after your condenser cools off so you can grab it, it doesn't take very long. You can actually then hold it the opposite way and go the other direction and more or less completely clear out your condenser without needing any solvent or any special tools.
Okay.
Okay, all you need is a torch. It's not as it's not quite as nice as just soaking it in alcohol or some hot coffee, but if it's day 3 on a camping trip and you'd really like to clear it out, well, this is something that you can do in a pinch because it's nice to have some options.
Right.
Do you script the CCD while it's still warm? It can be done, yeah. Water and glycerin. Yeah. So, fun thing about your water tools. Another thing that I'd like to encourage people to try out is instead of putting a whole bunch of water in your water tool, try about a tablespoon.
Okay.
Okay. Not enough that's going to bubble at all. Put about a tablespoon of water in your water tool. Cover the end and shake it. So you end up with like a little coating of tiny little water droplets on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So when the vapor comes and passes through, it's not passing through water. It's passing near water, right? And that warm vapor is going to pick up some of the humidity from the little droplets of water that are dispersed around the inside surface area, evaporating. And it will cool it down and it will humidify the air, which just makes the overall experience much, much nicer. And it won't pull out the terpenes, which are water soluble, like it does when you run it through water where it's actually bubbling.
Okay.
So.
And then, what is it? I think the mouthpiece, right? We've done this before, but what's a good way so we don't have a bend in our CCD when we go to reinsert it?
Oh, okay.
Because some people don't have multiple CCDs, and I know that whenever that thing is bent or like not functioning correctly,
it makes it less fun.
And then it falls out all the time.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So I'll pop the CCD out of my Unidyne here as an example. Okay, so just took it out. Oh, this one's got a little bit of some cookie crumbs on here from last week. So I take the CCD out of my Unidyne, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place it in the chamber so it's not falling out. And I like to use my mouthpiece to just push it down. And I think the mic picked that up. You could hear it kind of click into position. And I think that is one of the best ways to seat the CCD is the end of one of our newer mouthpieces. And just about any of the mouthpieces that we've made for the last, when did the Woodwind come out? It's been like a year and a half.
yeah, roughly.
Since the Woodwind came out. It's when we kind of changed the end of the mouthpiece to make it small enough that it actually fits in the chamber and it functions like a really useful CCD pusher downer.
It's like what I use, period. Because I never usually, I can't remember the last time I've had a problem with it when I use that method. Otherwise, I got to find something that's, like equally just as good to push it down. You don't want to use something that's pinpointy because you'll bend the center as you're pushing it down.
3D printed VAP cap. Are you talking about this thing? Yeah. Microphone cover. Just because. And just makes it look a little bit more official. And for those that have 3D printers, I would encourage you to check out our Thingiverse page, where we have an array of Dynavap type things that you can print. And even just doing a search for Dynavap, you're going to find that there's not a small number of other files that some of them are actually pretty ingenious and useful. They can just overall give you a whole new experience with some of the things. Yeah, there just wasn't much snow this year, was there?
Not really.
There was like There's like no chance of a Dynadome this year.
No, I made a couple snowmans,
Yeah.
but they didn't last long.
No. And that's the thing, it would have been tough to go through all the effort to execute that construction project to have it last for a day.
Yeah, right.
At least last time we did the Dynadome, I think I got like 2 weeks out of it.
Yeah. That's pretty good
It was-
for like an egg glue slash.
Oh man, it was a lot of effort though. Wow.
Yeah, I bet.
But
I mean, people build those home like to survive, and it's like it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, oh, we have to do this, like, you know what I mean?
yeah, it's just do or die situation, right?
Yeah.
I find it so interesting because I don't generally like being cold, and I think about people that live in an environment like that. You're kind of cold all the time.
It's just a chill that never leaves, right? Like, I mean,
Well, I'm sure
things
there's
that they
moments
do-
when you're not cold, but
There's some fascinating things that I learned the more I kind of research it. Like, they actually dig a well out for the cold to sit in, right? And then they like build their bed up a little bit, so they have like this kind of in betweens, but it's still never gonna get above 60 degrees, like, or 55.
No, probably
It's-
not.
Right. But I have slept in some pretty cool, interesting nights where like the heater stopped working, and when we were in North Carolina this last October, and the heat stopped working at night.
at the disc golf thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it was
Was it cold?
Very cold.
well,
Almost
so-
like to where no amount of blanket could.
Oh come on!
It
really?
was that cold. Yeah,
Weren't you in an RV?
with no heat. With
But you were
nothing.
still not outside in the wind. It's not like you're in a tent.
No, yeah, but I mean, I can't explain how creeping cold, and like you can't even get your face in it enough to like
Oh,
without
man.
breathing.
Really?
It was freezing.
You see, I've done some.
I couldn't believe how cold it was.
I've done some colder camping before. In fact, a couple years ago when we had the Dynadome, I
Yeah.
camped out in the Dynadome at least one night. That was cold.
Yeah.
I can tell you it was below freezing. There was a couple other domes that I built over the years where the one night that it made sense to camp out in the dome, it was like 0. It was like, wow, this is really cold. I wonder if we can do it. And then there's that one year when we kind of cheated. And, since the dome is actually somewhat close to a building,
Yeah.
we ran an extension cord.
Put a heater in it.
And we had lights and a heated blanket, which
Yeah,
that makes a big difference.
That would help. Yeah. I
Yeah,
can see that
makes a big
helping. I mean,
difference.
even if you had something, I don't think they're talked about enough how good they are, but the right rated pad to sleep on. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's real. Like, there's some of these expensive pads that look like there's nothing to them, but they're like for 0-degree weather,
Mhm.
and like they will literally keep you warm from the bottom.
Wow.
They'll hold your heat, and it's just like I'm not understanding the tech in it, but it does work. That's what I was using one of those in California.
Oh, someone's gonna dab some Snow Dream. That sounds nice.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
Yeah. That does sound nice. I do like Blue Dream.
Yeah, that's always been a top favorite.
I think I'd like some Durban Poison
What did I have?
hash.
That and there was a Blue Rhino that I always used to like.
Blue Rhino.
That was what it was. It's like kind of that same family.
I've seen commenting about different materials, and I like different materials. Try all kinds of different things. Got a fair collection of various different materials that I've accumulated over the years. Some of them just taking a little bit longer than I'd like to convert them into a production saleable unit. Doesn't mean there hasn't been some experiments.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely like swapping up, trying out different materials. Just, it's nice having that capability that we have here, that we can just machine different things, change new geometries, try out a new configuration, just because. Favorite cheese string.
Isn't it kind of fun that there's something to be learned in every time that's happening? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think I find fascinating.
There's something to be learned.
It's just
Period.
like everything you do.
No matter
there's something
where
to
you
be-
are,
Yeah.
no matter what you're doing.
The only way you're not learning is if you don't do it.
But
You're still probably learning.
actually, I think it's almost impossible to not be learning something.
Right.
I mean, even if you're playing video games, you're learning where stuff is at. You're learning how to do this or how to do that.
Yep.
You know, if you're just sitting around all day and someone's yelling at you, you're learning how to respond or not.
Right.
Right? I think life is all about learning. And it seems like the more that I learn, the more that life is interesting.
Mm-hmm. Accepting that you're learning too is, I think, a big
Yeah.
one.
Oh, man. Well, congrats on the rosin press. Yeah, how cool is that? And yes, we really do appreciate it when you like the stream. If you're watching on YouTube, a comment would be appreciated. You know, the better the engagement on our content, our streams, and as well as our video content that's on our YouTube channel, which if you haven't checked that out, I'd encourage you to do that. We've got quite a few
It's a lot of good knowledge.
useful videos
Yeah.
on there.
Really good knowledge.
A few how it's made videos if you want to see a little bit more of what's going on here where we make
Oh,
our
there's
product.
some really good videos Troy just kind of put up too.
Yep.
Testing the Unidyne.
Yeah.
I thought that was fascinating. I
Some
really,
good stuff there, right?
really enjoyed that. Yeah. He had one that
Super
like
cool
perfectly caved in on itself.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
I was like, wow,
man,
that is super rare.
I kind of want to drive that one.
That's
Because,
fun. Yeah.
Makes me want to maybe do that on purpose.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's so weird that it can
Don't you
cave
think
in on
it'd be
itself almost to like turn over, like before
Well-
it even breaks off.
well, it's just kind of show you how materials can be encouraged to do such a broad range of different things if you have the ability to control how you apply force.
Yeah, I've seen some really bizarre things. I've seen you turn metal inside out and still keep it like formulatively hard.
Oh, I mean-
which is like, how is this happening?
That's one of my favorite things, right?
Yeah.
The
Like,
the
that
crown-
should be
the
way
crown
weaker,
press, right? You
Yeah,
know,
that metal should be definitely weaker than before it was turned. If you think of like physics and how things are, and metal in
Right.
the way that it does, but it's not. It's still just as hard, I guess. You know, whatever the right word
well,
is.
it actually makes it harder, right?
I could see that. I mean, I see it in the thing. That's crazy. In the crown. It's super fascinating stuff.
Oh, there's a fair number of people there, old Greg, that have used concentrates in our devices. In fact, some people really like it.
Oh yeah, Dynacoils.
Yep. We should. I think we'll maybe do that next week because we're getting kind of short on time. But I think next week might be a good
Yeah, what do we want to? I'll write it down.
have like Dynacoil demos. Did yeah, I think it could be really good. Well, someone wants to one wheel and toss some discs. That sounds like
Come on down.
yeah, I would love to have you over.
Let's do
That's-
just that.
Yeah.
Exactly. We'll go to Token Creek on our one wheels. That's a great place, very close.
Isn't it funny that they call it Token Creek?
I always get a kick out of that. Yeah, I get a kick out of that every time I think about it, and it's like, it just seems like the right place to go to like
For to disc golf?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Gonna go disc golf at Token Creek?
It's got to be one of a kind.
Is Champs in Vegas the best industry show to go to? It depends on how far you're willing to travel, right? Because I would say that Mary Jane in Berlin, which is kind of the next big show that we're going to go to, which is in June, is better in effectively every regard. Champs is a big show. Don't get me wrong, but if the main thing that you're looking to see and experience is products like what we make, that's maybe 2 to 3% of that show. The majority of Champs is all the other things that you'd find in a head shop or one of those, I'm not quite sure how to describe it, gas stations. Not like the big name brand gas stations, but like the non-big name brand gas stations that tend to have a whole lot of other things that you don't find
Yeah.
in a whole lot of other places, gas stations.
It's like a head shop gas station type of thing,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
in a sense.
Where you find a whole array of things that aren't illegal yet.
It's fascinating, though, because you wouldn't really know until you go in it.
Right. And that's where these gas stations get their stuff and find their stuff, is at Champs. So it's an experience, that's for sure. And I hope I'm not coming across as being negative, because it's not my intent to be negative. It's just that if your goal is to experience, a show that's about the industry that our products serve, I don't know if it's necessarily the best fit. If you're looking for a show that's all about like party-ish type things, well, it's not a terrible fit. Yeah. Gonna be in Minnesota for any events. I was thinking about heading to Minnesota. There's a couple festivals going on in Minnesota I'd like to get to one of these days.
Yeah, for sure. There's an interesting science. It was like related to more like vaporizing and just stuff. Like, I mean, not just vaporizing, but just like the whole field, but it was like science art of it. And I was like, man, that would be really cool. I don't know if we've been to something like that, but
Where's that?
in Minnesota, I got to
Okay.
look it up on my pad
Well,
again.
that
but
sounds like that might be cool.
it was somewhere I was looking at going last year, just to kind of like show off this science, and art.
Yep. So anyway, the shows in Europe, way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Plus, the only way to get into Champs is you got to kind of know someone that works for a business that buys and sells the kind of products that they're showing at Champs, because it's a business-to-business show.
Yeah.
So it's actually a little bit challenging to even get in there if you're not affiliated with a business. Versus the shows in Europe are kind of like hybrid shows where it's business to business and it's business to consumer. And they tend to be way more interesting and a lot more of a party type atmosphere.
Okay.
Food trucks and usually bands playing and all kinds of just stuff.
Just a different vibe then, right?
Wow. I love the chat sometimes.
Yeah, for
Guys
sure.
are great. So, on that note, I think according to this computer, it's only 7:30,
Yeah,
so we
I know,
got
I'm
2
saying-
hours to go, huh?
I was in
Wow.
the middle of
Did-
changing that, but I was like, I'm not changing. Let's just do this, and let's worry about that later.
Did we start early?
Yeah, we're way early according to that computer. We're on somebody else's time on that one.
Yeah, but, I mean, what is time anyway?
Depends on how you look at it. That's what I'm starting to realize in my life.
Yeah.
It's just a means of...
But how do you look at time?
I look at it as just a means of measurement of a sort.
Right, but so is inches.
Right.
And it's not a very good measurement of sorts.
Exactly. So, therefore, do we really all even know the full conception of time? You know?
How's the language barrier? Very navigable. And that's, I'm going to say, in a fair number of European countries, especially if you're in the bigger cities, if you speak English and that's all you speak, you're actually just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fine. I mean, I do know a little bit of German, but I would have a better time speaking English to someone from Germany that doesn't speak English that well. Their English is probably better than my German.
Yeah, I can
Okay.
see that.
Because just one of those things that a pretty good portion of Europe has been teaching English in the schools. Not every country, not every city, not every school, but a pretty good portion of them have been teaching English to the students in the school from like the early years all the way through. So I find it really interesting, especially in countries like the Netherlands, for example, where they put a real emphasis on it. Some of the signage may not be in English in some places, especially when you get out of the more touristy areas, but navigating and getting around is really not hard. And it's actually rare you come across someone that either doesn't speak English, or B, the more likely thing is they don't want to speak English. Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I've been to Berlin a few times and had no difficulties. I mean, even Barcelona, which I'd say the number of people that speak English in Barcelona is much lower than it would be in Berlin, and that's even not terrible.
Okay.
What are the chances the jerseys find their way to the store? Well, not sure about that right now. However, you can send a message, and we can get you connected to Mr. Lear here.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're going to be doing jersey orders. I think the plan is about once a month.
Yep.
So if anyone wants a Dynavap jersey, we have a number of various styles. And since we're going to be ordering them about once a month, if you really want one, you can let us know, and we can get your specifics, and we can get you on the list, and we can make sure we get you the right size, the right color. In fact, we can even offer potentially a few customizations depending on what it is that you're looking for.
Correct.
And we'd love to have more people spouting.
And for these, yes, you can get your name on the back
Yeah.
if you would like.
How fun is that? So yeah, you can.
Yeah, send that information over. We're just looking to at least get a, at least 10 possibly for like each month's order. So
Yep.
we're kind of looking for that minimum number, and then that gives us a better incentive to get that many ordered for the amount of people.
Okay. Oh, this is questions. Are we missing questions, Jeremy? So, if you're interested in the jersey, please send us an email to teatime@dynavap.com, and we'll be in touch with you, and we'll make sure we get all of your information.
Absolutely.
So, I think it'd be super cool. I love the jerseys. I love wearing them places, and
Oh, is that Sebastian?
it's just super
I see
fun.
you.
Yeah.
Sebastian's been winning some races.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap things up unless I missed anything that's important. And if I did, please send me a message, teatime@dynavap.com, and let me know what I missed, and I'll do my best to accommodate. So, thanks everyone for joining in tonight. Appreciate all the support. And I did see the comment. I'll see if I can find out why there aren't any balls on the Dynavap EU shop. Because,
Oh, just balls?
yeah, just balls.
Yeah, I get it.
But
You might have lost some balls, it sounds like.
well, the whole having shops that are servicing other parts of the world thing is doggone it. I mean, with the technology that's available today, you'd think it'd actually be pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not easy at all. Because you got all kinds of shipping challenges. You got customs. You got duty. I mean, why are there two terms for that? Okay, customs and duty, right?
It's like complexity.
Why is it just not import tax? Right? Why are there two categories for fees that you're going to charge? It's not like you can choose one or the other.
Right.
Right? And then, of course, you got tariffs on top of it. And then you
Tariff
got inspection
massue?
fees and...
How many
the-
layers are there
yeah,
in the
well-
tariff massue?
Well, and then you've got your currency conversions, too, which currency fluctuations all over the place. So that affects what prices need to be. It's challenging.
Right.
But I'm just happy that we're able to at least get it done to some degree.
Somehow navigate the challenges.
At least some of them.
Cut
But
through them.
it's
the
because of some of these challenges, right? That it's difficult for us to offer the same level of product selection on other shops and stores that we can here on the one that's right.
So live
Next to our
stream
shop.
next week.
Live stream
Think about it.
next week.
Are we doing that from? Or no, that's 2
that's
weeks.
2
That's 2
weeks.
weeks. Okay. I was thinking about
Have
the.
to.
I actually
Have
want to
to.
do that from there.
Have to.
So we're gonna take the setup.
Maybe multiples.
That's gonna be fun.
Maybe every day.
And I want to have some interviewers and people
Yeah,
come sit
you know,
in while
oh,
we're just
yeah.
like talking. So whenever we go to Oak City in
Yeah, so
2 weeks, we're gonna have more streaming, and we're gonna have people from that event.
we might be
with us.
streaming while we're dreaming, or at least while you are, and changing up the time frames and everything. So things are going to shift around a little bit, but hopefully that's going to be a good thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, and next Sunday, I guess it's going to be, if we do it Sunday, it's going to be a 420 live stream, or maybe we'll do it on Saturday and do a 419 live stream.
Oh, I'm down with that.
Cool.
That sounds great.
Awesome. Well,
And we'll do Dynacoils. I know I had a couple of people
Yeah.
say that they were curious on that because they had some issues with theirs. So I was like, if we could just hold off till next week,
yeah,
we'll
Dynacoil demo
get that
day.
all out of the
We'll
way.
get it all set up and ready to go.
Just don't uncoil your coil in the meantime.
No, I would
Don't uncoil your
I
coil.
discourage uncoiling your coil.
Yeah.
We actually had to
That's
build
not
like,
the point of it, is to be
Yeah.
uncoiled. Like, I found that out when I first got
Oh.
into it.
Are you going to be there, all caps? All right. Well, on that note,